If there's ever been a time that we needed a comfort, spiritual comfort, I believe that's now. We're in the middle of a pandemic and it's terrifying to us. And I want to know, like many of you, can Jesus speak to that? Well, I think he can. And I think John's Gospel, chapter 16, verses 1 through 11, holds a key for us to be able to understand this lesson. Now, before we really look at it, I think it's important for us to know and to note the context in which John's Gospel came to us. In the year 88 of the Common Era, the Jewish synagogues finally broke with the Christian followers of Jesus once and for all. And we read about that in the Gospels, and especially John, who's writing after 88. Some people put it John's Gospel as far as 100 of the Common Era. When Jesus says in John, they'll put you out of the synagogue, that's exactly what John's speaking to, because the Christian community at Ephesus had experienced it already. So Jesus offers them comfort in that time. They'll put you out of the synagogue, but a helper will come. And that word, some translations say a helper, some say an advocate, some say a comforter. All of those words are very legitimate as I understand it. Jesus said at the end of this passage is very impactful and can give us a lot of comfort in these difficult days in which we find ourselves. He says the Holy Spirit will do three things. The advocate, the helper, will do three things. Number one, he convicts the world, or shows the world it's wrong about sin, shows the world it's wrong about justice, and shows the world it's wrong about judgment. So the first one of those, sin. What is that? In my view, it is when the ego, the self, some people call it original sin. I don't particularly like the term, but no matter, it is the inward arc to the self, to watch out for the self at all cost. We haven't spiritually arrived where that's not a temptation. The second thing that Jesus says there is that he will prove the world wrong about justice. What on earth could that mean? Well, the justice system crucified a man who preached love, peace, and mercy. And Jesus says that the resurrection, you put me to death because I did these things. The resurrection will prove that your sense of justice is wrong. And then the last thing he lists there, the Holy Spirit will show the world that it's wrong about judgment. I think what John's getting at there really relates back to what happened at the synagogue in 88. Judgment. Jesus is saying there that the killing can't win. The final judgment that the legal system or the ecclesiastical system gave will not win because resurrection. The Holy Spirit will be here to be our advocate, to be our comforter, and to be our helper. So no matter where we find ourselves, we must know God is with us. God will not forsake us. God will get us through this difficult time. And those are words that we can take comfort in. Be at peace and be blessed.